Hi, everybody. It's Kelly with Real Conversations with Kelly.
Nice to see
And
you again.
yes. And Heather's here with me. So I have been told I have to get rid of my podcast voice. And you know what? I do. That's why I was laughing because I have got to get over it. So if you get your feelings hurt by something that someone has said to you, or you hear something that somebody has said about you and you get butthurt, let's
Mhm.
put it that way.
Which we all do at times.
What is that? What does that look like?
What, the butt
Because it
hurt?
just happened to me.
Oh, okay. All right.
It
Share.
just happened to me.
Share
And
without oversharing, of course. We will all
right, right,
remain anonymous.
exactly. I was, I guess, minding my own business. Aren't we all? And I get an email from somebody, and it really put me in a defensive mode. And I was like, wow, what is this? And I thought, no, that can't be it. And so I emailed back and said what I needed to say. And then I was presented again with somewhat of an attack, if you will. I felt it. I felt attacked. And so I was like, wow, what is going on? So then I answered, and then one thing led to another. And it was just, I thought, okay, I'm just going to resolve it and be done with it. And so I woke up this morning going, wow, that was so interesting yesterday. And maybe this is what we really need to talk about is we get our feelings hurt by things that people say, things that people do. But what is it really? Is it insecurity in ourselves? Is it something that we need to look inside ourselves and make sure that we're not doing that to somebody else? Or is it something that is like a core belief that you've always felt? And let's get rid of that sucker right now.
Right.
Let's just like implode that. So I'm just kind of throwing it out there to you guys. And I know I used to get phone calls all the time going, oh my gosh, do you think she's mad at me? She said this. This is what she said in her email. What do you think? I just know I can read between the lines. And I want to go into really the feeling, the feeling behind the email, the feeling behind the text, the feeling behind the voicemail.
On
What
your
are your
end, you mean?
thoughts?
On
What?
your end. On your end.
On my end.
Because that's all you're
Right.
ever being able to be responsible for. My first
Correct.
reaction to that always has to go back to is you get to read it, hear it, conceptualize it the way that you want to, right? That's my first reaction. That's why there's so much over text that you just look and you go, well, I didn't mean to say it that way. Why did you take it that way? But we do that. And so my first gut reaction is how did that person mean it to sound versus the way that you heard it, saw it in your head to sound? And then the second reaction to that is I believe a lot of the accountability and responsibility lies on ourselves because it is a mirror. It is an opportunity to look and go, dang, why did I react that way? Why did I just automatically assume that the tone was unapproval or disappointment or whatever we thought for the moment. Why do we go there? So let's just talk about first and foremost is I believe everything is in context. So if you get your feelings hurt or you think you hear something maybe a little bit different, then yeah, what are you going to do? My vote is pick up the stinking phone and go, did you mean to sound like
Exactly.
this?
Exactly. And that is our generation. The
Good
Gen,
point.
the Gen Z, YY,
I know what
five,
am
four,
I?
three, two. I don't even know where we are in the alphabet.
Right.
And I mean,
Right.
and I'm not making fun of any generation. I'm just saying the generations that have come up, they have been brought up on texting and
Right.
not calling. And me, if I feel like there is something that I want to say that I feel like I didn't say, right, I'm going to pick up the phone and go, oh my gosh, I just emailed you and do not read it the way it came out. This is what I meant, and I need it to be done like this, and blah, 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 whatever.
Right.
So, with the feelings hurt, all of that, gosh, when you were saying that, I was just like, all energy. You've got to remember whatever is behind what you are texting has to be the truth. And if it's the truth and it needs to be explained, I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. And
Well,
and it's like not a big deal.
well, that goes back into two things, right? I see that as two separate things because
Mhm.
we all know if we're gonna, okay, say you got this text or that email,
Okay.
whatever it is,
Okay.
you still have the accountability, responsibility for how you read it to be, no matter what. And on the flip side, absolutely, that person is writing it in such a way, but you don't get to really know sometimes of what that person is going through or laughing at or whatever type of energy because you are still interpreting it based upon where you are that time of day that day. I will fight you on that. I'm gonna fight you on that. Ooh.
Ooh,
Because no matter
that
what,
was
you still are
that we're doing
interpreting
real
it.
conversations.
I know that's what we're doing. That's right. Because you still are having to take it into a context that you believe that that came across as being. Yes, we can feel other people's energy. I really believe that, which is why they always tell you smile when you're on the phone because the other person is listening. Totally get that. And yet you still are the one who is reading it the way that you are thinking it, maybe
Right.
based upon a different encounter, a different time, like, oh, here they go again, or I knew it was going to happen again, which I feel like we all have somewhat of that, those experiences often, which, gosh, I don't care to be in that realm either, but I do it too.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the flip side is we all have responsibility, accountability for the way that we send messages.
Right, right. And I get
So it's
that
like
because
two
I
different
read,
things.
right, and I
Mhm.
read my text. I'll text somebody and I'll go, okay, yeah, this kind of makes sense. Like I think I sent one to you today and you were like, I do not understand any of this. And then you sent one to me yesterday and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking
Uh-huh.
about.
Uh-huh.
So so then I said, call me after work. And you
Uh-huh.
called me and I said, what in the world? What are you talking about? And you were like, oh, remember we talked about blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, Lord. I would
Yeah.
have never put the two and two together.
Yeah.
And so it's like putting something into AI, for instance. Okay. Put something into AI. And if you want to get a good result the first time, be very detailed, be very to
Mm.
the point, factual. Tom always tells me, be factual. Don't la la la, don't airy fairy it, just be factual. And I'm like, but I am airy fairy.
We
And
got
it
to put the
is what
facts
it
in.
is. Hey, real Kelly. As we communicate with each other, like I could go back and forth and get nowhere.
Right.
Picking
Yeah.
up the phone and communicating with somebody, gold, gold. I know that some people are out there and they're going, yep, but I don't have time, blah, blah, blah.
Not going to
I
happen.
used to say all the time, I'm too busy. I am so busy. I am busy. Just text me. You'll catch me. Just text me. I'm good. And then there was this little girl and she looked at me and she said, are you coming to my recital? And I said, honey, I'm really busy right now. We'll talk about that later. And she said, yeah, you're always busy, Kelly. And I
Ouch.
went, oh, okay, that was a real conversation. It I really feel like that it's just like pen to paper, phone to calling and communicating. Even with Teams, even with Zoom, it's like there are people out there that would have never thought about getting on a Zoom. I have to call a lot of restaurants and see if they have space. And I actually met the person in a Las Vegas hotel that she like she said, "Sure, I'll get on a Zoom with you or a Teams." Well, she couldn't get her camera to work. And so I was on the phone and I was like, "Oh, you sound so fun." It's the connection. I think it makes everything that we put out there better communicated.
Mhm.
So,
Maybe it boils down to when you have things to really truly be said, don't do it over text. Don't do it over emails. But
right.
I can hear people saying now, we live in a technology world. It's not going to happen. So maybe you put things that can be, and as Tom says, you just put the facts in the messages. Tomorrow at 5, I'll meet you there. I have space for 52 people. It's available. Things like that. So maybe that's more of a case of really paying attention to what you actually are portraying, or not portraying, but putting into a message versus taking the time to call. Or maybe it's more of an explanation too.
Right.
Maybe more of an explanation is more appropriate. Maybe.
I just, it just hit me. And I thought, why am I like letting the monkeys in my head go, okay, this sounds a little off. What's happening?
How do you stop those monkeys in your head when the moment, in my opinion, it is the exact moment that they start to chatter?
I knew it. I knew the moment they started chattering, knew
Mm-hmm.
it. And I was like, back it up, sister. Come on. Just do what you need to do and don't read anything else into it and move on.
That's exactly it. It's a choice.
It's a choice.
That's
Exactly.
that's what I believe tonight is all about, is really recognizing that you have a choice in that exact moment that you decide you already know what that person is saying or conveying, what tone they're using. So it's a choice. And then if you really don't like that choice, if you don't like the answer, then pick up the phone
Right.
and go, how do you mean that? What'd
And
you
then
say?
sometimes they don't even answer.
And they might not.
And when they don't answer, it's like,
Now, are they mad
it's
at
a
me?
whooping.
Well, but then that's another monkey chatter.
Right. But this is a whooping. It's like,
Mhm.
just talk to me. Tell me. Explain it. Get on. Move
Here's
it
another
on,
here's another
sister.
question. Do you get upset when people don't call you back right away or text you back within a reasonable amount of time, an hour? Because you know that they're at work and they see that text. And not just
I,
necessarily you personally, but people out there. Think about
well,
your own self.
right.
Answer that for your own self. And why do we live in such a world that we should be so entitled that people should be at our beck
Mm.
and call?
No, I do not believe that. I am not entitled at all. I give grace to people that when I text them, because I know they get the text,
Mhm.
and I've lost a couple of friends, and I've texted them over and over and over again, and they were very good friends. I talked to them almost every day, and all of a sudden I have not talked to them anymore, and it's been very hurtful. Didn't answer the phone, didn't answer an email, didn't answer Facebook Messenger, nothing. And I thought, wow, I guess they're on a different path than I am right now. It hurt to the
Mhm.
absolute core. And I gave them grace and let them go.
So then here's the question again. Why'd you get so hurt in that email?
Mm, because I felt attacked.
Mm. Where
I
was the
felt
grace?
I felt attacked. I felt like I was not doing things on the timeline that she had put out there.
One thing when I started working with this company that I am with, and we do a lot of women's health and a lot of women who have terrible hormone things and going through so much, they could be really nasty. And I used to really take offense. Like, why are they so nasty? They don't have to be so mean. And the doctor that I work with, she reminded me, it well taught me and continues to remind me, I'm much better now.
Mm-hmm.
She taught me, she's like, these are people who don't feel good. It's
Mm,
not that they're meaning to say things the wrong way.
mm-hmm.
There's no excuse, but that's where the grace comes through. And it's an
Mm,
understanding then. So I
mm-hmm.
can take a step back and go, deep breath. Whew, they're having a hard time. And that for me, I have to remember that for everyone. And I don't want to take offense every time I read something or do something. I really don't. Because at the end of the day, I do recognize that it is still my own stuff.
Right.
And that's where the grace comes through for somebody else. And then at the other end of the spectrum, if they are being mean and nasty, then I can choose to not react to it either and take that energy right out of it
Mm-hmm.
and just be like, I'm not going to play that game
Right. Move on.
and move on. Here's your answer. It'll be done tomorrow. And then my mouth or my keyboard shuts.
Right. And perfect example, you're going through menopause,
uh,
you're little testy every now and
I do.
then.
I can be spicy. We call it spicy at the office. I need a little
Spicy.
spicy.
That's what
Mm-hmm.
everybody needs to call it when you get like, you feel that flesh come on. Ooh, that spice is
A
really hot
little
tonight.
spicy. Mm-hmm. Here's the key though. I apologize where needed.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's just recognizing it.
Yeah. I am
It's
okay to be
recognizing your
recognized for it.
spice.
Yeah. I'm okay. I've always been okay for people. I always call it for people to call me out on my crap. At first, it stings a little bit. And then I go, you're right. Fair enough. I
And
apologize where needed.
hey,
I
right.
change my attitude where needed. And I'll move on.
Hey, we have to. We have to, and not take things personally.
Right.
And I believe that is why I wanted to talk about this tonight, because I did take it personally. And I am the queen of taking things personally. Queen. Okay. My crown is a little crooked, but hey, it's still there.
Recovering
It
queen.
is.
We're
It is.
learning.
And I am in queen recovery mode. That's where I am. I look at something and go, why am I reacting like that? Where I would have never, ever, ever in a million years questioned myself before.
Mm.
And I'm like, hallelujah, let's do this. So next time you have something that like, makes you a little spicy. I love that. Makes you a little spicy. That's what I'm going to say. I'm getting a little spicy here.
Watch out.
Man, how cool is that? Because you can laugh at yourself, and then the person that's making you spicy might even laugh too and go,
Yep.
what?
It changes the
Spicy.
energy. You got to change
It's
the
the
energy. Yeah.
and change it. Put on your pearly whites. Because that's the only thing that is going to change the way you feel about the conversation.
Ooh, I
And
love that.
having conversations are, some of them are not going to align with where you are. And you got to take it, you got to go, okay, am I going to be in this conversation or am I not going to be in this conversation? And you decide. You're the one that has control of it.
Again, it's a choice.
It is.
And for the conversations that need to happen, then you do it and then you move on.
And they might be vulnerable.
That's right. We need
So just remember, conversations will go the way you feel they want to go. I noticed it. So if I can notice it, hell yeah, y'all can notice it. No problem whatsoever. So just remember, notice the conversations. If they kind of make you a little spicy, then they make you spicy. And then try and find out how you can cool it down. Are you going to put a potato in it? Are you going to put a little bit more salt in it? Like
I need some cream. No potato, cream.
That is too funny. All right. Well, I think we've talked enough about conversations.
I think we have.
And just remember, we are Real Conversations with Kelly. And thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great day.
Spicy out.
Spicy out.